let's talk about the 3 mistakes I made when starting to renovate DIY style. Welcome back to the channel, you guys. The channel has grown so much in the last few days. I'm so thankful and I'm so grateful. Thank you so much for following if you're new to the channel. I'm Amadeus. I'm renovating this place, which is a 13th century chateau in the southwest of France in a very rural is a really complicated word. As I said today, I want to talk about like the 3 things I now would do differently, the 3 mistakes. Maybe they're not even like mistakes, but the 3 things I would absolutely do differently knowing what I know now after renovating this house for a year. Number 1 is the showers. So welcome to the blue room, one of 2 rooms that I completely renovated, where I actually put in new ensuite bathrooms so that I could have 3 guest rooms with 3 ensuite bathrooms. I did it all by myself with the consultancy and the aid of my father, who's an engineer, luckily. So he was my FaceTime consultant every time I ran into a problem, and YouTube was my teacher. So I was quite handy already, but there's tons of things I learned during this process. And I wanted to have a cheap and good solution for having showers inside those bathrooms. So I chose to go the way of ready-made shower cabins. Basically, you would have to build up the cabin inside the room and then connect just the piping to it. Sounds really easy, but it isn't. Full stop. That's the number 1 mistake. I really thought that this was going to be really easy because it's an easy solution. You just connect everything and then it's gonna work. It was a whole nightmare. I didn't think that I wouldn't have enough space to do it. These ready-made shower cabins are made for if you have a lot of room, if you can maneuver around. Building them up in a tight space like this, where you really just have as much space as you would have for the shower, you know? So I have a bit more depth in this room, let's say like 20 to 30 centimeters, than the actual shower tray. So that made it really, really, really complicated in both this and the green room to maneuver around, to connect things. It was a complete nightmare. And if I were to do it all over again, I would actually either not choose ready-made shower cabins, or I would do one other thing that I did not think about when putting up the walls. This is Miss Anita. She's my doggy, and she wants to join. She wants to explain with me, doesn't she? So this is the back wall of that shower, of the blue shower that we've just been in. If I would have known all of that trouble before, I would have done a maintenance door in here. Like this, I could always have a hidden door and access to the back of that shower. And then comes the second doggy! You can't record a video without the dogs just going all over you. I love them. This is my boyfriend's dog, Toto, if you're new to the channel. So I'm taking care of both of them right now because my boyfriend's on a business trip. You are too cute! So let's grab the doggies and go back down. I already apologize for little papat noises, little dog feet walking around. Number 2 of the things that I have done wrong or could have done better is insulating the floors. Where inside of my bedroom, it is just under the biggest guest room of the B&B. And if I had thought a bit more, I would have raised the floors in the second floor and actually insulated in between. because when I was putting in new floor and I redid the whole floor in the second floor, I tore out carpet. I had to repair bits of the underline of the floor, which is OSB plates. Then I put just a thin layer of insulation and then put new parquet floor all down. And I have a really silly dog next to me. I just put a thin layer under the new parquet floors that would insulate a bit and also soundproof a bit. But I have to say, I would have profited much more from lifting up the floor by 5 centimeters, just like I did in the bathrooms, insulating in between those new beams that I would put to raise it, and then putting new OSB plates and then putting the parquet floor. It would have cost me more money, but I would have soundproofed the whole second floor. And like this, I would not hear a single bit of guests, and guests wouldn't hear a single bit of me. So now I'm actually thinking to be insulating this bit to go from my side and close up the ceiling. I know I would lose those nice looking beams here, but on the other hand, I just feel that I will profit so much more, and also the guests will profit so much more because it will also create an insulation in between, and I would actually save a bit on heating, I think, because heating would retain, the floor would be warmer. So that's number 2 of the mistakes I did while renovating this house. Seems like I can't do anything without the doggy's help. Number 3 is basically rushing things. I was in such a rush to do up the second floor, and basically what you saw of the second floor is basically all I did. I redid all the rooms. I did prepare a bit still in December with help, but most of it, the big chunk of work that had to be done, was done by me alone from January until July. In these 7 months, I really was rushing to get 3 rooms ready to be ready for guests to come. And I think, seen in retrospective, I was rushing a few things, and that didn't make me enjoy the process. It's not that I could have done things better, yes, but you can always do things better. But it was also a learning curve for me, you know. I learned so much from it, and it's gonna be good for me for future projects. And I also plan to redo a bit of the second floor anyway, going along as time passes on, because the second floor is poorly insulated, the ceilings. So at one point I will just have to insulate from the inside and try to find ways to make it warmer in the winters and colder in the summers. And I'm kind of trying to look into things, but at the same time, it's a thing of budget, it's a thing of time, and it's a thing of living in a place. We all get to this point where we get so excited about things, and we're like, we buy a home or we rent a home, and we have 1 million projects in mind, and we see this home already like it's going to be in 10 years, you know. But it takes time. It takes time, and it takes effort, and it takes more time when you're doing it all on your own. It takes less time when you're doing it in 2, in 3, in 4. If you have friends helping, family helping, you know. And it's okay that it takes time. Sometimes I think we get lost in this efficiency trap, and that we need to be fast, that everything needs to be done now. And I think I get lost in this efficiency trap a lot, actually. I am really trying to take a step back and try to see, okay, what is a smart move? What is good to do? What really doesn't make sense to do? In which order should I do things? And yes, there are certain things, like I updated my bathroom. And if you haven't seen that video, I will link the whole bathroom series. It's just, you know, sometimes you need a bit of pretty progress, I always say, to just keep on being motivated. You don't want to be living on a permanent construction site, so you need nice places. But at the same time, you need to accept that sometimes some things won't look the way you envisioned them. All over this house, there's places, there's corners where I'm like, yeah, I wouldn't choose for it to look like that. But at the same time, I just can't do everything at the same time. I still am an expat in France, so I still have to do a lot of bureaucracy. I have to keep on learning French. I have to keep on top of my businesses. I have multiple businesses that I run. I have a YouTube channel. I have so many projects that I still want to do and to make happen, you know? So I think it's about slowing down and accepting and knowing that Rome wasn't built in a day. And that is absolutely fine. And I need to keep on repeating that to myself as well. It's not that I'm that wise. Trust me. As you can see from several breakdowns in almost every third or fourth video. But I'd rather be honest than just be like, la-di-da, everything's fine, you know? Because sometimes it's just not, and then it's okay. Just have a pretty room to cry in. I guess that's just like, you know, that's my take on things. So if you like this kind of videos, and if you like to follow my journey here in France, then I would welcome it if you would subscribe to my channel and leave the video a like. And I shall see you all on Wednesday next week, where we continue just doing stuff around the house. We'll be more outside as I'm preparing for the outside and spring and summer season when guests actually arrive here. So stay tuned for that. And thank you so much for watching. And all that's left to say is à bientôt et au revoir. And bisous from the southwest of France. Bye!